Hello and welcome to session 2 of our podcast-like series. I already explained before what these sessions are, so if you just want to make sure you know before, you can check out session 1. It's already been posted. I'll be spending 15 minutes today talking about another topic, and the topic of this session is golf. So let's go ahead and start the 15 minutes now. Okay, so golf for me has been something that hasn't always been on my mind. It's actually funny because now it's the one thing I love the most. It's the one sport that I wish I could go the farthest in. The one sport that I wish I could just spend all my time in. Now, golf, like I said, I didn't really know much about it. I really wasn't into it until my sophomore year of high school. So back when I was younger, I used to go up to the golf course and hit off the driving range. I mean, who doesn't do that? It's the driving range has kind of always been something. Oh yeah, it's fun to go and do and stuff. But I remember my dad would be up there and he'd be trying to teach me how to play golf and really trying to show me the values of it and how the game works. And being me, I mean, I really hate my younger self. I really wish I would have changed who I was, even though, yeah, I was just a kid, but I still wish I would have changed so much about what I used to do when I was a kid. And when I was a kid, my dad would try to teach me all the stuff about golf, and all I wanted to do was just take my biggest club and try to hit the golf ball the farthest on the driving range. And I barely could even do that. And I know it was super fun though. I still had a ton of fun, but when he would be like, "Okay, let's go play on the putting green." Now, the putting green is now for me the biggest part of my game, the game that I try to focus on the most. And I mean, that's kind of where the money's made at in golf. So when he would take me to the putting green, I would kind of like not try that hard. I'd kind of be like, well, I just want to get this over with so I can go back down to the range and just keep hitting off of that. And I feel like that's where I've gotten my strength in golf because, I mean, ever since my freshman year, I've always been the guy that just hits the ball super far. But for the past few years of my high school career, I'd say from freshman year to maybe my junior year, yeah, the last 3 years have just been, oh, I just want to hit it the hardest. I just want to impress everyone. When really, I wasn't playing the game. I was trying to be like a world long drive champion or something. And that takes a lot of work, though. Like, seriously, it takes a lot of changes in your swing, a lot of changes with your clubs that you use. It's not about playing golf, it's about hitting the ball far. And yeah, it's fun to do and stuff, and it's kind of the one thing everyone thinks about when they hear golf is who can hit it the farthest. When really, if you want to play golf and be good at golf, you got to have your short game dialed in. And that's the one thing I've been focusing on the absolute most this year is just short game. Yeah, my long game's there. On the driving range, all I do to warm up for my clubs is one good shot with each club, and then I'm right to the putting green, trying to get my chips dialed in, my putts dialed in, really making sure that my short game isn't going to be the thing that screws over my score. Because I mean, I've spent 3 years just wanting to smack the ball down the fairway instead of trying to put up good scores. Now I feel, okay, well, I've got the arsenal of hitting the long ball. Now, I'm just trying to. I always say this. I really regret not making a change when I was younger. And that's why I'm actually glad that I have a brother and he's also interested in golf because I can let him know how I was and make sure that he doesn't make the same mistakes I do. And hopefully he takes it in for what it is, for what I'm trying to tell him, and really show him that the long game is not the game you have to master. Yeah, if you want to be the top pro, most of the time you got to be one of the guys leading in yardage for your clubs, for your drivers, and all those other stuff. And all that other stuff. But I'm trying to make sure he knows right now, his freshman year, that short game is going to be the thing that makes him a good golfer. Golf isn't just about hitting the long ball. It's about having touch, having that extra skill, having IQ on how to play, playing the wind, playing the challenges. What does this hole offer? Pars, obviously. But I mean, yeah, golf, like I said, hasn't been the main focus for me, and it's funny because I've always played baseball and basketball. Those are the two things I played a lot when I was younger. Wish I still would have played more though, honestly, and taken it more serious when I was younger, but golf was never like, oh, I went to go join a golf team or something at like 7, 8 years old. No, I never did that, and it's like I said, it's kind of ironic that it's the one thing I actually love the most. And I've only been doing it for 4 years, 3 years seriously, but 4 years in total. My freshman year, I kind of just did it because I had nothing else to do in the spring for sports. Baseball was over, basketball was over. I was like, oh, I don't want to just kind of sit around anymore. My dad was the golf coach, so I was like, great, then I'm gonna go try out golf. Did it my freshman year, and I was like, you know what? This is actually pretty fun. Decided to come back, and I realized how much I had grown in skill and IQ with golf, and I decided, you know what? I'm gonna start taking it serious now. I'm gonna see what I can do with this. Ended up going down to state as a sophomore, playing against a bunch of seniors who were, you know, down there trying to win the thing, and my goal in sophomore year was to just hit 90s. The whole season I hit 90s, but when it came down to state, that was the first time I ever shot 80s. I shot an 89, and that was huge for me. I could see my dad's just being so proud of me, and when I told him on the first day of state I shot an 89, and he was like, "Wow, you actually got in the 80s." I was like, "Yeah, it's awesome." Played the next day, didn't do as good, but still ended up making the cut for the next day, and to me that just showed that if I truly take it serious, put care behind every single shot, I can become something in golf. And I really hope I can just tear it up this year because last year we really didn't get a season. Went down to state still. They still had a state tournament. Finished fourth as an individual, so I should have, to be honest with you, I should have probably finished second or third, but I had a terrible day. Still shot in the 80s, but it was terrible. It's like I find it easy to shoot in the 80s. It's just it makes me so upset to know that I didn't even get like where I wanted to be. Cuz it wasn't like, oh, my junior year season got canceled right before my first meet of the season. Oh, I'm just going to stop playing golf. No, I kept on playing golf cuz I really wanted to play. I played golf every single day. Would go out on the course all by myself, go play my own shots, play a 9 every day. And then like as soon as I found out that we were going to have a state tournament still, I was like, well, I've got to be in the best shape for the whole state of Utah, in 1A. I was like, man, I've got to be so ready. I feel like I'm going to be so ahead of everyone else when really I was, but when it came down to it, I just didn't have it. I don't know what happened. It was so weird. I don't know what it was. I feel like I just had no control over what I was doing out there. And it sucks. I wish I would have done more. Still finished fourth, but I mean, like I said, I should have finished at least third or second. The kid in first, he's also in my grade this year. I already played him this year too, but I'll get into that later. But he finished first last year as a junior and took state as an individual, and he shot, I believe, a 76 or something. It's a really easy course, and that's the thing. I actually went down to that course, played it a week before the state tournament came up, shot an 81, and I was like, man, I feel like I did so bad, and I still got an 81. I should be absolutely dialed in. I know what I'm doing. I know what the course is like. I know what shots to take and what shots not to take. And if I just don't make those simple mistakes that I did for that 81, I'm going to be in the 70s for sure. Went out for state, didn't do anything right. It got worse. I don't know exactly what happened, but yeah, I ended up shooting an 87. Terrible, absolutely terrible. Now, since it was a COVID state, they only had one day of it, so it was one day you had your chance to prove yourself, and that was it. So, I guess there's that you could throw in there, but still, I mean, I should have done way better than I did that day. So, we get into this year. I've been playing a ton of golf. Even during basketball season, I would be playing golf as much as I could. And then the course obviously closed for the winter. It's just what happens. I'm pretty sure every course does it. But then I didn't really have a whole lot of time to, practice and stuff, so I really just started focusing on basketball. And basketball was starting to come to an end, and the course opened back up, and I was ready. I was like, this is it. This is the last year to do it. The two kids who took second and third last year in state, they've graduated. This is the year to do it. The only guy that's ahead of me is Brody Schofield. That's the name of the guy who took first place. And I was ready. I'm just ready this year. That's how I felt. We get into our first meet, and it's just a region meet, so we only had two other schools showing up. But then our athletic director ended up contacting some other schools, see if they wanted to come by and join. And the school that Brody goes to said they wanted to come down and play us. I was like, wow, we're gonna actually go ahead and play the state champion. And it was huge for me. This was about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I'd say about 2 weeks ago. And the meet comes around. I'm so pumped. I see Brody. I'm like, oh yeah, he's gonna be so good and stuff. I want to see how he plays our course. I want to see if I have a chance against him. We get out there. God, those conditions, terrible. Up to 15 to 20 mile per hour gusts of wind, and I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but once you're out there when it's freezing cold in or like at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you're trying to hit a golf shot, and you can't even feel your fingers or anything, it's kind of just, it almost makes you feel like I just can't play today. So we get out there. I'm on the first group with Brody, and gosh, I lost it. I had no idea what I was doing. Couldn't feel my fingers. Didn't have any IQ behind any of my shots. And his first hole, he actually started out really good. I think he might have gotten a par. I'm not sure, but I didn't do so good the first hole. We started playing holes and stuff, and I'm like, you know what? He's like doing the same thing I am. He's like getting bogeys here and there, making the same mistakes I do. It's funny, like we always like found each other in the same area. Wherever we hit our ball, we just always somehow found each other right next to each other. It was pretty funny, but I mean, great guy. Honestly, love playing with him. But our sophomore Avery, he played last year in state too. I believe he got fifth or sixth. He was a freshman last year. He put up a 90, which honestly for a freshman is great. But he even played terrible, he said. And so this meet right for my senior year about 2 weeks ago, he was playing in it. Sophomore year, he ends up taking first, beating the defending state champ. Shoots an 80 in those conditions, and on our course is super tough too. And I was like, man, that's so, like, I'm glad he did that, but I just hope that doesn't affect him mentally and make him think, oh, this is going to be easy. If I can do it on our course, I can do it anywhere. I just hope he realizes, okay, I know I've got it in the bag. Now I just need to make it consistent. Every meet has got to be like this. I've got to bring it every meet. When I start falling apart, what do I go to? What mindset do I bring upon for every hole? Am I feeling good? All right, then I'm going to try to be aggressive. Am I feeling iffy? Don't feel like I'm going to hit a good shot? Okay, let's try to play it safe. Let's be a bit passive. I want to at least just walk away from this hole knowing I didn't drop. I didn't get a double bogey or higher. I went out there, got on green at regulation, not trying to do too much, not trying to have the best shot. I'm just trying to have quality shots. And honestly, that's how I should have played our last meet, because I was trying to show up everyone, trying to have these amazing shots, and I realized it's just not worth it. And I really found myself thinking like way too much before every shot. I really wish I wouldn't have done that, because it made me hit and like have these weird hitches in my swing and just a terrible mindset. I was trying to do too much. That's what I feel like I was trying to do. I was trying to do too much. I play this course all the time. I have the biggest advantage in the world, yet I still can't do anything. But that's how golf is. And I can't wait till our next meet. Our next meet's on April 16th down at Delta. central Utah, around there. Hopefully it's good weather. I'm gonna try to. I've played that course twice already, and hopefully I can just put a good score down there, and maybe back when I come back for session 3, I'll be able to let you guys know how I did. Hopefully I put up a good score, a score that I'm at least happy with, and yeah, hopefully I can take my golfing career further than just high school too. I hope I can play one day in college. That'd be awesome. Alright, that's our time for session 2. I'd like to thank everyone who watches this or listens to this. This has been session 2. Make sure to send in any topics in the comment section down below if you'd like for me to talk about them. And I'll be posting session 3 soon. Okay, well, thank you very much, and I'll see you all later. Peace.